All right, welcome in everybody to the Made New Project. Today we have a special guest for you, Miss Jessica LaHost.
LaHost, okay?
LaHost.
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 There you go.
I got it. So I'm the host. She's Jessica LaHost.
There we go.
She is a current active duty second lieutenant in the aviation division, former enlisted military police reaching the grade of E6, also known as staff sergeant. She is Sapper Leader Course qualified, Air Assault qualified, Airborne qualified, Pathfinder qualified, former Sabalowski Air Assault School instructor, a former drill instructor or drill sergeant, a Division II college soccer player at the University of Texas Tyler, a CrossFit athlete. She has a master's in business administration. She is a woman of faith and a mother of two beautiful dogs, Penny and Cash, working towards her first ultra marathon.
Yes.
Is that you to a T?
Yeah, I'm surprised you pronounced Sabalowski right. You didn't get my last name. That's always like, I'm always impressed by that.
I went to the course. So me and Jessica do share some things. Sapper Leader Course qualified, Airborne qualified, Air Assault qualified. Yeah. We have done those things. So have some commonalities there.
Yeah.
The toughest being what? You think Sapper Leader Course maybe the toughest?
Yeah.
Yeah. Airborne, they call Air Assault School the 10 hardest days in the Army,
all
for those that don't know.
Ways, but Sapper for sure the hardest.
Yeah. Sapper's a 28-day course. We'll probably get into some of that stuff. 28-day course based on engineer tasks and skills, also some infantry provided patrolling lanes, some sleep deprivation, some food deprivation, a lot of team-oriented tasks, very demanding, very tough. You went twice, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll get into what that means too. I'm just looking at all these accolades, Jessica, and it's like, did little Jess, did she ever like envision you to be who you are now? And if she didn't, like, who did you want to be growing up?
I think I always knew I was gonna join the military. I just didn't think it was gonna, like, obviously, like, everyone, or not everyone, when I joined the military, I had no idea, like, what the possibilities were, or like what I could go, like, whatever the limit was. I didn't really know what it was. Obviously, I just was like, I just want to join the Army. Obviously, I had no real like idea of like where that would take me. I think my parents like always knew I was gonna join. I joined when I was in college when I get my bachelor's. But looking back, I mean, it's what, 2026. I went active duty in 2019, and I just sometimes it feels like it was like just yesterday that I like went active duty. 'Cause I feel like my career really didn't take off until I went active duty, and I just feel like I've done a lot. I've just been really busy, and yeah, a lot has happened in the last 7 years. Good things. Obviously, I had like really good opportunities, but no, like when I got to Campbell and when I like I was a specialist when I first went active duty, and like obviously Campbell's like a really like high speed or whatever you want to call it. Obviously a bunch of schools here, a bunch of opportunities, and you know, as like a little specialist, you know, you see people with like all these schools or whatever, and like it doesn't seem like it's like attainable or like at first, and then I think the biggest thing was like all these things take time. Like you see all these people with whatever these things that you want to get, and I'm like, wow, it's never gonna be me. And then like in my brain, I'm like, oh, I have to hurry up and get all these things. But like good things take time, which I think was like a hard concept for me to learn when I first went active duty.
Yeah, you see everybody like walking, they're like giants.
Yeah,
you
I'm
know?
like, I will never. I'm like, this guy. I'm like, oh, that. I'm like, when? How do I even get there? I'm like, when will that happen? Yeah.
Yeah, and so what led into that? Like in your childhood, like you were obviously an athlete. Like what did you do in your childhood that you think led you to the military? Like did you have family? Like was it just an ambition?
I think it was like an ambition thing. I don't really like. I think I just like always saw like the commercials, and I was just like, these people like just do really hard things, and I just like obviously was very fortunate. Me and my sister both were really fortunate to have like the parents that we had, and like we were in sports like my whole life, like swimming, gymnastics, track, volleyball, cross country, soccer, basketball. I think I already said that. All the sports, and I think like just always having that like level of like competitiveness or just never. I just feel like I get a lot of my, not even like identity, but like just like fitness or just like constantly raising the standard, like not even necessarily like what people think I guess fitness is about, but I think it's just like, I just think fitness is like a really like huge part of like who I am and like kind of what made me want to join the Army. I guess like just always like raising the standard and like just wanting to try something new and try something harder like every time I could.
Yeah, and I guess like when it comes to fitness, like you could almost look at the battlefield. Like I haven't really seen combat. I've been to a combat zone, but I haven't been in firefights, and I don't think you have either.
No.
But like when you look at that almost seems like a fitness task in its own, like in a different way. But it's like a mano a mano, almost literally. And we, as fitness people, like we feel that everything we do.
Yeah, and I don't really consider myself even like the fittest. Like I don't like I don't think I'm like an anomaly. I think I'm just like really stubborn, and I just like I don't think like even like if you look at people who are really successful, like oftentimes they're not the strongest or the fastest, and I would consider myself neither of those. Neither, like I think I'm like relatively strong or relatively fast, but like I'm sure people are not like, wow, Jess is really fast or Jess is really strong. Like maybe like I said, like relatively speaking, but I feel like I just like I'm pretty stubborn, so I think that has like a lot to do with maybe like what's made me successful in like other areas.
Yeah. And it's all about finding like that community, right? Like in sports growing up, you were like the number one soccer player, and like that feels good for a while, but then you kind of want to get almost knocked down on purpose, especially when you become an adult. I feel like I want somebody to show me like I'm nothing, so then like I have a new bar. And
I like was not. It's actually funny I played college soccer because I hated soccer like my whole childhood, which is pretty funny because I didn't even start playing soccer until like 6th grade, like which is when you look at people who play college soccer or like professional soccer players, not that soccer's like whatever the biggest sport, but pretty late.
They started like 3.
Yeah, 3.
It's like the youngest sport you can start playing.
Soccer. I was like, this is dumb. Don't want to play it. And I just like started playing at recess with like all the guys from like my school. And one of my really good friends, he was like, you should like play soccer. And I was like, man, whatever. So like my dad like signed me up for some like little rec league in Austin, Texas, and I played rec for like a season, I think. And then I played club soccer, like joined a club team and was like playing like 2 age groups above me. Like, I don't know, obviously back then it was like 94, 95 because I'm 95. But yeah, you like joined a club team and like it's like kind of caught on to it pretty quick. But like this kind of goes back to like the not the strongest and not the fastest thing. Like I was never the best soccer player. Like even in college, like was not the best, but I just worked really hard. Like everything I did, like if there's one thing that like Jess was gonna do, she was gonna work really hard. Again, not the fastest, not the strongest, but I just like busted my ass a lot.
Yeah. So. I'm telling you, once you get into ultra marathoning, I think that's why you're going to like it so much, because I think ultra marathoning is the space where all the athletes that like were just mediocre, right? Just like a little bit above average. Like we get into ultra marathoning and it's like, it really matters how hard you work. Like talent kind of gets left at the door, and that's kind of great, you know?
I feel like that is like pretty much like every Army course in a nutshell. Not totally, but like part of a large reason why I went active duty is because I wanted to go to SAS. I went to SAS in 2020, didn't get selected, but like
for those who don't know, folks, that's Special Forces Assessment and Selection. It's a course, a 21-day course you have to go through to be assessed and then selected to become a Green Beret, a Special Forces Green Beret, as most people would know that.
Yeah, and like looking back, it's like like the whole like I said earlier, like good things take time or whatever. But like I didn't get selected, and I was like wow, like what am I supposed to do now? Like I have to like really do my job and like be an MP. Like this is gonna be terrible. But then I was like, people who get selected go back 3-4 times, whatever. Like I said, like good things happen overnight. But all that to say, bringing back to the not the fastest or the strongest things, like it's like really like when it's all like people can perform really well when like conditions and circumstances are like perfect. Like if someone's like, okay, we're gonna go like a timed 5-mile. And you're not going to work out before, and we're going to do it at like 0.7, and it's 60 degrees outside, like, I'm sure they're going to do really great. But like when you're like in the suck, that's like a lot of Army schools. It's like really like it's going to suck for long periods of time, but who's going to not let their brain like
because it's like when you write the tasks down by themselves, they're all super attainable. But when you do like you do a 12-mile ruck, and then the next day you're going to do a timed 5-mile run at not an easy pace. It's like how quickly can you recover, and then like you're saying, move through mentally the fact that you have to accomplish things on sore body, maybe some blisters, maybe some chafing, like no sleep, right? Not the right food, and like you still have to accomplish the task. It doesn't matter.
I think that's what is like the best thing is that like in my whole career is like that's like the biggest thing I've learned is like you have to do it all tired. Like if you want to be good at something or get through whatever, like you're gonna do it all tired, and conditions are always gonna suck, and the standard's gonna be high, but it is humanly possible, and people have passed it before. So like
I think the problem with that is then once we move on from even those schools, we realize like we just do everything tired from then on out. Like sleep never becomes a priority once you've
Yeah.
done things like that. It's like,
Or like,
oh, it'd be
what's
great.
good? Like, what's good sleep? Is that 6 hours? Is that 30 minutes?
Yeah,
I guess it
like
just
you hear somebody
depends
say,
on
I
the-
get 8 hours every night. I can't even comprehend it. If I
Oh,
was to
yeah.
get 8 hours, like it's 1 in 100 sleeps. I
Yeah.
get 8 hours.
No,
You know?
I'd be more tired if I got 8 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just your body like doesn't regulate it.
No.
One thing like I wanted to bring up, and I love that you haven't mentioned this at all because it goes to my point. But I think a lot of people would ask you like, oh, what's it like to be in this male-dominated field? And I think it's such a stupid question because, and you're gonna love my take on this. And I thought of this the other day. I'm short, right? I'm
Yeah.
5'7" on a good day.
Yeah.
I never walk into a school or a race and look at somebody that's taller than me and think I'm disadvantaged. And I think you think the same way, being a woman. Like you never walk in and go, oh, I have to work harder than this guy, or because I'm not a guy, I'm at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
And you even mentioned once, like the school was harder because I was a woman. Not once, and I love that.
Yeah, I think like, you know, obviously things are different for males and females, like that kind of like goes without saying. But I think if anyone were to be like, oh, like it's harder to be in the military as a female, it's not for like the reasons people necessarily think it is. But like I don't think, like I said, like the standard is the standard, and like if you want to, like, you know, people like females or males always want to be afforded the same opportunity, which, you know, that's a whole other topic. But yeah, I think if it's like I want to accomplish these things, like if I like whatever, like I'd have been shook to go to ranger school, or if like even looking back at Sapper, it's like this is the standard, people have passed it. Like I don't want to, like if I want to do these, like if I'm gonna say I'm gonna do these things, I'm trying to figure out the best way to word this. Like if I wanted to say that women can do these things, then we can do it without the standard being lowered. Yeah. So that's kind of how I've always looked at that.
Yeah, because like recently the ACFT got lowered, like super, which is the Army's combat fitness test, folks. Just a basic test you have to take to stay in the Army, right? It assesses your fitness. But a couple years ago, when I was in 2020, they were experimenting with it and dropped the standards.
Yeah.
Especially in the combat MOSs, essentially low enough to retain the female soldiers, which it was terrible, right? And it just didn't work. I mean, and we saw that because they changed it all. But I remember when we got the standards back, and we would have cut every single one of our females, and none would have stayed, and then 50% of everybody would have got cut, which just shows how bad the fitness focus was at that time, and still is, right? But we were willing to just lower the standards.
Yeah, I guess like now that it's in my head, like if people want to be like males and females are equal, then like don't lower the standard for anybody, right? Like if like women or men are like so like hell bent on like, oh, like, you know, we can do it, men can do it, men can do it, we can do it, then like if this is the standard, like regardless of gender, like we're gonna meet it. So that's like how I see it. Like if we're gonna be like, you know, give us the same opportunities and like we should be afforded the same opportunities, then like, okay, well this is the standard, and like, you know, like if you don't meet it, if you didn't meet it, it's not because like, oh, females like, oh, we should lower it. It's just like, okay, cool, like go back and try again, or whatever the case may be. That's kind of how I see it.
I'm like a crazy extremist, and I always hated in the Army when people brought up like equality, because I'm like, it's the wrong word for what you're trying to do. Because if you want equality, like if I was to preach equality, I'd say, okay, men and women will sleep together, they'll shower together, like they'll do and honestly, it would work. It would just take time, and there's going to be growing pains, and there's going to be situations that aren't good, like on both sides. But if you want to preach equality, like you either go 100% or you can't do it at all.
You can't pick and choose when you want the narrative to fit. And I think that's the biggest thing. Is like I said before, like if you want to be like, well, we like don't make it about gender, then this is the standard regardless of gender, then meet the standard. That's kind of how I see it. Yeah. And like don't make whatever an excuse. Like I've failed plenty of things, and I'm like, it is what it is. Like you kind of just snack some bricks and try again.
I like it more to fail now.
Yeah.
I almost seem like, and you seem the same way. Like I don't know if we're always chasing the carrot or searching for failure or searching for growth, but it's something like that. Like the accomplishments, like once you complete one, it's almost like you forget about it. Like I have this coconut and a belt buckle here. Like it's great, right? But it doesn't matter anymore. It's done. Like what's the next thing?
No, I think like, like obviously my first like big Army school was air assault when I was a specialist. Literally almost failed everything, which is funny because I went back like a year and a half later and worked there. But yeah, like you in your brain, I don't really know if I'm like the only person wild this way, but like, you know, I don't have certain things and then I get certain things and I'm like, once I get this, I'll feel a certain way. Cool, got it. Don't feel any different. And it's like you keep doing that, and then like the lesson is like less about what it is you're, I guess, getting tangibly, but like what you're like learning. Because for me, Sapper School went like to a non-recycle. I don't even think I told you about this, but yeah, went to a non-recycle class in November of 2022.
Folks, non-recyclable means that, so in the course, there's 2 phases. There's 2 weeks in the front, which is all your knowledge-based stuff, and then 2 weeks on the backside, which is all your patrolling phases and mission set stuff. You can recycle, which means you can restart each phase one time if you fail an event that is a recyclable event in the course. So the course is structured to be 28 days long. If you do it, well, you could call it the right way, but it could be as long as 2 months if you were to recycle both phases. But Jessica went to a course where you didn't have a recycle option. It led into the Thanksgiving, Christmas break.
Like holiday block leave.
Right.
So I went to ALC at Fort Leonard Wood, and then there was like, the day I graduated was like, what, Sapper School, you in process on Thursday, you start on a Friday. I was graduating ALC that Thursday. There was a Sapper School that like lined up, and so I asked like my company commander here. I was like, can I just kind of extend it because I'm already here? She said yes. That was like kind of the plan all along, but anyways, worked out. I wasn't an engineer. I just like I said, like my company commander was like, you can go to the school. I've always been the type of person, like if the Army's gonna offer me a school, like I'm just gonna go. Had no idea how demo worked, like really didn't know what I was getting myself into. And yeah, so I went to Sapper School, like I think we started like November 20th or something. Like it was freezing. It was terrible. Went, failed, and like it haunted me for forever until I went back pretty much. I like ended up getting stationed at Fort Leonard for drill after that. And after I failed, like I was supposed to go back in January, and it was just like I had so much going on with like work. I was going to airborne school, and then I had to go to the drill sergeant academy, and like every time I was trying to go, like it was just something else, and it wasn't even that like I was like making excuses. It was just like at the end of the day, like it was just like I didn't want to have to go back and it be another non-recycle. I was like, if I'm gonna go, like I'm not leaving until I get my tab, and I don't want to have to go and be worried about like coming back from work, or like worried that I'm gonna miss my airborne slot, or worried I'm gonna be late for the drill sergeant academy. I was like, I just want to go and have to worry about nothing but Sapper School pretty much, which is funny because when I went back, wasn't like that at all. Got stationed at Fort Leonard Wood, and literally tried to walk on. I mean, I got to Fort Leonard Wood in summer of 2023. When I first in process, like my first sergeant Oak, by the way, super cool dude. He was like, do you want to go to ESB or do you want to go back to Sapper School? Because I like pretty much told him, I was like, I went to Sapper School, failed, I'm trying to go back, been trying to go back, everyone to go back. And obviously, like as a drill, like you don't have time, like especially like not being an engineer, like they don't really care about sending people to Sapper School unless like you're engineer.
Right.
Not only does nobody care, but like Sapper School doesn't even really care if you're not an engineer. Not in a bad way, just like obviously they're like engineer focused. So I was like, I want to go to Sapper School. I can pretty much go to ESB not whenever, but like several installations do ESB, EIB. The only place we do Sapper School is at Fort Leonard Wood.
Yeah, so, expert soldier badge, folks. This is basic 10-level tasks done at a high level. If you pass, you receive a badge for it. She's Sapper Leader course, the 28-day course we've been talking about. You receive one of 4 wearable tabs in the Army, which the wearable tabs are the President's 100, Special Forces tab, Ranger tab, Sapper tab. Now you have jungle and all this other stuff. But the OG4, Sapper's one of them, which really, it got approved in, I think, 2002.
Yeah, I think you only go like jungle and Arctic, certain regions. I think literally jungle only in Hawaii. I don't know how that like the Arctic tab works. But anyways, I tried walking on. My first time I was like, cool, you can go to Sapper, you'll just miss however many cycle, that's fine, whatever. I had everything, went to Sapper School, in process, did day 0. About to do the heartbreak formation, first time pulls me inside. Me and this other guy, he was there for Triple C, and he was like, yeah, we're just not taking any non-12 series. And I was like, okay. I was like, when can I come back? He's like, just try walking to the next class. I literally probably did that. I think I literally tried walking on to Sapper School in September, October, in November of 2023, and then the spring of 2024, I tried one last time because I was about to PCS to come back here for green and gold, and like every single time the first time I was like, yep, not taking a non-12 series, not taking a non-12 series.
But you're doing day 0 every single time.
Times. Like,
what's on day 0?
I think it's changed as of this year, but like at the time it was, Thursday, like it's like the packet scrub, Friday, PT test, which is the 3-mile run, hand release push-ups, and the leg tucks, and then like STTs, which are like RTTs with the celebration. So it's like identifying demo, land nav, ASIP, 240, 249, and then doing like a tie-in on like a main line. Yeah. So, and then you do that, and then you do the layout, which is like literally the worst thing ever because they just pretty much probably. I think they probably like don't have anything going on between like 0, 6, and like 10. So they just like waste your not wasting your time, but like they just want to.
They're wasting your time.
You're wasting your time. So
when they do the layout, folks, they are scrubbing this stuff like crazy. They're throwing your stuff. They're smoking you. They are. It's just a show.
Yeah.
Really, it's if you have all your stuff, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But they're gonna make it tough.
Even that, someone else is not gonna have it. So.
Which isn't gonna result. Everybody is gonna be in a rough spot.
So did day 0, I think 4 times, and and eventually I asked him. I was like, what, like. I told the first time because I was like, it literally got to a point where I think the commandant or like one of the sergeant majors down at Fort Leonard was like they knew me by name. He's like, this girl comes every third, like she's here every Friday to do the PT test. Like they knew who I was because I was like, please just let me. I literally told the first sergeant, I was like, how am I taking slots away from 12 series if there's like, if you have X amount of slots available and they're all filled. I was like, first off, someone's gonna get hurt or whatever. I was like, I think they take like 54 or 56. I feel like I'm off on that number. But anyways, there was 2 of us, and they just wouldn't take us because we were non-12 series, and I was like, how can I get a hard slot? And they were like, the Army's like pretty much not going to, there's X amount of hard slots, and they're going to, like, priority is 12 series. So they're like, the best thing you do is attempt to get a hard slot.
Yeah, with an MOS waiver or something like that.
Which even that's impossible. So I just remember, and like every time, and then to backtrack, when I was at the Drill Sergeant Academy, there was like, the day that I graduated at Drill Sergeant Academy, there was a sapper class that started the next day, and in my brain, I was like, okay, I'm going to graduate the Drill Sergeant Academy. I'm going to drive from Fort Jackson, which is like 18 hours to Fort Leonard Wood, and I'm going to do it. And then I was just like, this is insane. I can't do this. So I was like, I'm going to just try when I get to Leonard Wood. So then fast forward, I remember like working out in the gym, like one of the gyms at Fort Leonard Wood, and like my battalion sergeant major was like, we can get you to sapper school tomorrow. And I was like, what? I was just like, it was never ideal. Like, not that like it's ever gonna, it never is. But I was just like, I was like about to PCS, like all my stuff was pretty much packed, and I was just like, I hated being like, I can't, like I was like, I tried walking on 5 times, and now today you're telling me tomorrow I can go. I was like, I don't have like all my stuff's. I literally PCS, and I was like, yet again, I was like, oh my god, I was like, I can't go, and I was just like, when is this gonna happen? So that was in 2024, and then I got back to Campbell, started green and gold, and I remember like when I first walked in here to do green and gold, I asked one of the cadre, I was like, this is a long shot, but like, do you guys send cadets to sapper school? And they were like, usually not, because you guys have CST, which is like cadet summer training. You have to do it like your 3-year, like your first year, I guess like your summer before your last year, if that makes sense. So they typically don't, because like obviously I can't go to sapper school in the middle of the semester. So he was like, not usually for y'all. And I was like,
folks, she's saying she can't go to sapper school in the middle because you don't have your phone, you don't have access to a computer. Like you are just enveloped in this course completely for 28 days at a minimum.
And then I was like, oh, well, I can't do it during the semester, but I was like, wow, I could do the same non-recycle class that I did 3 years ago. And I was like, I don't want to do that again. So I was like, whatever, like, maybe I'll try. At first I was like, I'll just branch engineer and go to sapper school. I was like, I'm going. And so then it was the most wild thing. I remember I was like running at the Greenway. One of the cadre called me. I like was running, so like didn't answer, called me again. And I was like, I'm still running, didn't answer. I was like, they called a third time. I was like, what's up? And he was like, if you could go to any school in the Army, like, what school would you want to go? I was like, probably get my ESB. I didn't even think about sapper school because I was like, they've already told me like it can't really happen. I was like, probably would get my ESB. He was like, well, there's a sapper slot on like next Thursday. Like, can you go? And like I was like, I had like 6. It's like literally 6 days. I was like, when do you need an answer by? It was like 6 or like a week, like less than a week, pretty much. And he's like, literally in the next like 10 minutes. He's like, Cadet Command has 1 hard slot pretty much for like our brigade, and they want to give it to you. I was like, what? And I was like, at first I was like, I'll have CST, which like that was another thing. I was like, I had always said, like, I want to go to sapper school and only had to focus about sapper school. But like, yet again, I was offered a slot, and basically I was like, got online. I was doing the math. I was like, I can recycle 1 time and make it to CST and get done with. Because the biggest thing with green and gold is you don't want to commission late, so like you got to go to CST. And I was like, I did the math. I was like, okay, I can recycle 1 time and go to the last regiment of CST and get it out of the way. So I was like, whatever, dude, I'll just do it. At first I was like, I don't want to graduate late, like I don't want to commission late. And then I was like, you know what, like if I was like, I'm already gonna be in the Army 20 years, like if the worst thing that happens, like commission a year late, like I can live with that kind of thing. So I was
You've been
like,
waiting 3 years.
I was like, I'm going. I started calling back. I was like, yeah, I'll go. And called my mom because I was like, I need someone to watch my dogs. And so she came up, and then it's actually literally last year, literally this time I was at cyber school. So I went. And
Yeah, folks, one second. When she's saying green to gold and commission, if you don't know what these terms are, green to gold. So she was enlisted as a staff sergeant, a non-commissioned officer, and then what you do is you essentially come out of the Army and you go to school, you go to college to finish your credits out, and then you can commission and become an officer, which is what Jessica just completed.
Yeah, so you can. It's like you still get active duty time, active duty pay. It's like a longer version of commissioning. Obviously, you can OCS, which is like you. It's like the OCS is obviously the fastest way to commission. Like you already have your bachelor's, they send you to OCS for 10 weeks. You come out, you're already second lieutenant. Green and gold's like, you want to finish your bachelor's. If you already have a bachelor's, you want to get a master's. So I already have my bachelor's. I got my master's, but still doing Army things every 2 years. Still getting paid. Still getting time. But yeah, not a lot of time for Army schools or whatever.
Right.
But yeah. So anyways, kind of was wild that it all worked out that way. But all that to say, when I went in November of 2022 and failed, bring it back to when I was a specialist or whatever, and you see all these people with all these things that you want to accomplish, and I think when I went in 2022, the moment was almost too big for me. I was like, this is a tab producing school, I don't belong here, I'm not an engineer, I was like, what am I doing? And yeah, I think I just in my brain, I created it to be this huge thing, and that that it really wasn't. I mean, not in the sense that it's not a big deal. I'm saying I think I let the moment win.
Yeah.
And then this time when they're yeah, you can go in a week, and I was like, yeah, I'm at any cost, I'm getting my tab. When I showed up there, I was like, yeah, I'm not leaving without it.
Did you gain a bunch of knowledge in these 3 years? Did you seek out engineer people you knew, do sapper tasks?
Yeah, I mean, I had.
Because the first time you went, you probably minimal knowledge to none.
Yeah. I went over briefly some of the demo. And
which is demolitions, folks, working with explosives and military explosives.
Did all I knew the knots, I knew the SCTs, the the fitness stuff was whatever. I knew I wasn't going to be the number one person, but I knew I could do all the fitness stuff, whether or not I crushed it or if I just got by, I'd be all right.
Yeah.
And then
isn't that crazy too? I know when I went, and I went as an E5, and my story is not like yours, but I trained up multiple times and got denied just a hard slot multiple times as an engineer. This is, but they just told me no. And I would train myself, built my own train ups, things like that, 3 different times, which, like I said, I think looking at it now, it's a blessing that I didn't go the first time, because I think it would have been too big, kind of you were saying. But when I had that year and a half to almost 2 years of me just training over and over again, getting hyped up and then getting let down, when I finally went, I was, one, really confident, and two, just really hungry.
Yeah, I was just pissed off. I was just I didn't give it. I had literally, that's a good way to put it, because I feel I said, obviously, regardless of how many times I showed up, I was wow, I was very nervous, I was anxious, but at that, by the time I actually got in, I was I was just yeah, I literally don't even care. I was I'm going, at any cost, I'm gonna leave it. I remember my PMS, which is the he's the, I don't know what the actual name is, but he's the basically the lieutenant colonel who's the boss at Green to Gold. And I, at the time, I was because one of the cadets was hey, if you have to recycle, we're probably gonna pull you back and make you a CST. And I was no. I was if I recycle, I'm staying, because I was it is what it is. I will make that call when I get there, but if I have to recycle, if it comes down to recycle, being a holdover and recycling for 2 weeks, or not, or leaving and not getting my tab and going to CST, I'm gonna let me.
Yeah, that is a huge risk. Because you could recycle, miss CST, and still not earn your tab.
Yeah, which is you could double.
That's worst case scenario.
Yeah, worst case scenario was double no go, miss CST, and commission late, and not have a tab. I was that's not good.
But you risked it, right?
Yeah, so I was just getting the lieutenant colonel was honestly, that's on you. If you can live in commissioning lane, do it, and you can make that call. I'll let you make that call. And I was cool, because I didn't want to get there and be yet again, I have to first time go. Not that I want to go in with the mindset that I'm gonna recycle, but I don't want to, like I said, I just want to show up to tab school and literally not worry about anything but the next day. So I was, and yeah, so again, talking about schools or whatever opportunities, which really that's all it is time and place where you afford the because it's people, literally it's all time and place, it's opportunity, where you afford the opportunity to go type thing. All that to say is for me, cyber school was more than as dumb as it sounds, more than a tab. It was can you start something and see it through no matter how long it takes. And yeah, I mean, I definitely the dudes that I met there, some of the best dudes I've ever met. I mean, I think people probably say it all the time, that dude next to you or whatever it is, they're gonna get you your go, they're gonna get you your tab and that. is 100% true.
Yeah, and you do it for others as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you learn how to be like a team, and you understand like when you go, you're like, I like the tab is for you,
Yeah.
but then when you get there, you're like, oh, we can all help each other like get
Yeah.
our tabs, you know, especially once you get into patrolling.
Yeah, and that was the biggest thing. I was like, if I can just get to patrolling, like I don't even care, because I'm like patrolling, like I'm not great at it, but I know like if I can just like if someone can just like teach me, I can like mess it up so many times and I'll eventually figure it out. And patrolling was I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, wasn't that bad? Like it was horrible. For me, it was just like it was heavy. I was definitely like not out of my element, but like again, like they are infantry tasks, but they're very like heavily engineer based missions.
Yeah, now they are. When I went, it was straight raid and ambush, dude. Like,
I mean, obviously we did that, but there's definitely like shapes and creator chart, all that kind of stuff that they're doing, and which like I didn't know any of that stuff. Like every time we did have a mission like that, I'd be like, I need dudes who know demo, and you guys are gonna do everything because I'm like I don't know.
Yeah, and in patrolling, folks, so patrolling is you're literally walking through the woods with your rucksack to conduct missions on different types of missions on different mount sites, which a mount site, I can't remember what it stands for, but it's pretty much fake villages and things like this, or like, maybe a river, maybe a creek crossing. You never know, but you're carrying rucksacks that are on the light side 80 pounds and on the heavy side probably 110-ish if you're like AG or something like that.
Depends how many you go into patrols with, because we started like in GS, we started with like I can't really 55, whatever it is. Of that 55, 17 of us made it to patrols.
Small.
So 17 made it to patrols. A normal platoon's like 40.
Right, and so what she's trying to say is like they have all the stuff for a 30 to 40 person platoon that you're going to take on your mission, whether you have 30 or 40 people or if you have 17. I think we had 26 or 24, something like that.
17 from GSGO. We had, I think, 7 patrolling recycles.
Okay, yeah, we had 26 total.
So we started patrolling 24.
So light.
I mean, we didn't have like if you were like the weasel, like you were carrying, you were your AG, you were carrying all the ammo. There was no AG, like you were carrying it all. Like if you gun 1, gun 2 is carrying it all.
Yeah, and this isn't easy ruck marching. This isn't short movements. These are like 8 to 10 kilometers at a time up and down the hills with. When we're there, the leaves are on the ground, the rocks are under the leaves, so you're like your footing is absolutely terrible.
I think people try and other Fort Leonard like terrain is unforgiving. I think people don't think that because it's just like
it's in the middle of Missouri. Yeah, nobody knows what it is.
No one knows what it is. I feel like there's still not like a lot of information about Sabre School because it's just so small. It's not like random classes have like 300 people. Like Sabre School, you're graduating 10 to maybe 10
we had
15.
9,
So
I saw the Ranger guys when I was helping my buddy at Georgia Death Race. They were out there training. I was hyping them up.
Yeah, so we had like I said, like went into patrol 17, 24, or started with the 24 of the recycles, and then of that 24, 11 of us graduated, and of that 11, I think 4 of us were from that original GS class.
Right. So you don't take all 55 to 4.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And that's the attrition rate that you're looking at, folks. Under 10%.
Yeah, I think it's a lot, like, and I will say, like, a lot of it's injuries. I mean, not all. I mean, they do happen, but
people twist their ankle and they'll just be done. And to be honest, you could probably move
Everyone
forward.
gets hurt. Everyone's hurt.
Everybody's
Everyone's in
hurt.
pain.
That's right.
Yeah.
And to set you guys up to know what a patrolling day looks like or what patrols looks like, the first week is mainly classwork for the most part.
Yeah, it's like you're in the class, you do like cadre led, which is like, I guess when we had cadre led, I volunteered because I knew I never had a Sabre train up or whatever, and obviously like I've been a drill sergeant, I'm E6, like I know like the basics of patrolling, but like when it comes to like actually I was for sure like out of my element, or definitely not the best one there. So when we had cadre led, I volunteered for as much as I could because I was like, I'd rather mess it up now. I'm looking like an idiot now. And then
that's the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do like a round robin, and then they do graded patrols.
Yeah. And then when you get into graded patrols, you'll get a position from platoon leader down to squad leader. I don't know if team leader's looked at now.
No, just squad.
So it's a squad leader. But your day is what makes it hard. You'll start at 6 a.m. and you'll do all your planning and everything. Nobody can sleep. This is chaos, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's getting all the equipment ready. The platoon sergeant's putting together the order to get what you need. And then everybody else is making sure that's happening, getting all the gear prepped and cross-loading whatever you're going to need for X mission. You'll step off, you'll go conduct a mission. then you'll reset, then you'll get another mission, usually a follow-on mission on your way back to your camp or your fob, and then you'll conduct a night mission. This will go until 5 a.m. the next morning, and so you'll be up for 23 hours straight conducting mission, and then you'll have 1 hour to eat, sleep, reset all your stuff to get ready at 6 a.m., and you'll do that for roughly 6 days straight.
Yeah, I think ours was 8, maybe.
8 days?
Yeah, 8 days.
Yeah. So just so you guys, I mean, the sleep deprivation is insane. This is all carrying these rucksacks and carrying a weapon, conducting the missions themselves. Like we're saying, it was cold. I went in November to December as well. It's freezing, and then you conduct the mission. You're sweating hot, and then you start to exfil or get out of the area back to like your area of operation, and like you're now cold again, and you're just going to sit there and wait, and then you're going to wait on them, and then you're going to do a layout, you're going to be freezing, then you're going to move again, then you're going to have another mission, and you're going to go through this cycle over and over. And this is where, like you spoke about in the beginning, it's just like, how long can you endure? Like, how can you do it over and over knowing that there's more? Yeah,
I think, like, as dumb as this sounds, like, I remember being, because, like, again, not the fittest, not the strongest, not the fastest, and obviously people get hurt or people quit or give up. That happens in literally any school, air assault school, like whatever. I think for me, it was like, it honestly seeing, you can tell when people are hurt, you can tell when people are like, if something, like if they're hurt and, like I said, everyone's hurt, everyone's in pain, some people will like latch onto that and like it'll become their reality. Like if you like hone in on it, like it becomes your reality, and then like they can't let it go, and then they're like, I'm hurt, I can't do this, type of thing. So like I was like, watching people kind of do that as it each day went on, and I was like, honestly, I was like, if I can just put one foot in front of the other, I was like, I think I'll graduate.
Yeah, if you let the little pain win and like become your identity, you're gonna fail.
And don't get me wrong, I was hurting, I was in pain. Those dudes like they helped me a lot. Like they got me through it. But I just remember like at some point we got down to like. Yeah, like I think 17. I think my class had maybe 6 recycles. We had, like I said, it started with 24, 17 for like the original class. I think 17 of us or 15 of us made it to like heartbreak, and like we only had like 4 recycles, I think. And I just remember like seeing people like the numbers slowly trickle down, and I was just like, I think if I just put my left foot for my right foot, I can. If I just get to the end, then I think I'll be good.
Yeah. How'd you feel about your look or looks? So you get looked at twice, folks. So you're gonna be in. Really? Okay.
Yeah. So it's not like
there's usually one extra mission. Yeah. I think we had one too.
Yeah. Unlike
and some people might get a third look. Some people like might get only 2. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So it's not like range school where literally like not that, again, don't have my ranger job. I'm saying like have heard stories, have friends who've gone, obviously, but like, yeah, so they don't have enough time, right? Because they usually have a full platoon, like when they move on Darby or Mounds or whatever it is. So they really don't have time to give you 3 looks. Like it'll rarely happen. And obviously, I think for the most part, if you're getting a third look in Ranger School, like you're probably not getting your tab. But first look, I think it was an ambush. Pretty sure the PL committed fratricide. So in my brain, I was like, I was the first squad leader. No, I was in my brain. I was like, yeah, no, we got to go on that. See,
and this is why you get third looks, folks. So when she's saying the PL committed fratricide, like pointed his weapon in a direction and fired it that would have likely killed his own people. Yeah. At this point, the sapper instructors are going to stop the entire mission, or at least notify you that fratricide's been committed. Anybody that is in a leadership position at this time will be getting a no-go. Like,
they're not going to tell you, but known. It's not going to.
If the word fratricide is used in the post AAR or even out there on the mission, you just know everybody on that mission, no matter what you did from that point on, you did it for essentially no reason, and everybody failed.
Yeah. Second look, I was the PL. Horrible.
Planning or actions on?
Actions on, and it was a terrible day, and it was just horrible. It was like raining. 'Cause I went in May. It was just literally pissing rain, and we had just gotten absolutely just smoked. did like a layout, and it was just horrible. SIs are in a bad mood. Everyone's in a bad mood. This is like day 4 of graded patrols, and like people are sucking.
Yeah.
And I just knew it was coming. Like you can kind of like you figure out the rotation, you see people's names or who's always together on looks, and I was like, my time's coming, and it's nighttime, and I was like, I know they're about to call my name. And they called my name, and I think like jokingly, because I prior service, but I was like a cadet at the time, so I was like, hopefully they like see that I'm E6 and they give me a PSG look and not a PL look, and I was like, and one of the SIs was like, roster, I think I was roster, yeah, I was roster number 6. They're like, roster number 6, you want to be PSG? And I was like, yep. And they were like, yeah, you're PL. I was just like, damn. So we had I had a movement in the rain under nods, terrible. Had to set up a occupied patrol base, which like we crushed the patrol base. Patrol base was good, minus everyone like passing out here and there, which is just like
super normal,
inevitable.
Yeah.
You know, literally pissing. I'm not talking about like I'm talking about torrential downpour. Hurricane Katrina. It was horrible. So probably like the movement started at like 9. We probably walked for like 2 hours, I think, and probably started, I think it was like midnight. We occupied the patrol base, doing like patrol base awesome till like 2:30. Around 3, they came over the radio, so we had a hasty ambush. Had to do a hasty ambush. Like got the call, like I want to say like 3:02, and like I had everyone in place by like 3:17. We had to like make a movement. Everyone was in place by literally like we were in place ready to go. At like in like 10-12 minutes, I was like, oh, we're locked in. We're gonna crush this. And PL looks are hard. Like they're just hard. PL looks are just hard looks because everything's on you, kind of. So
yes.
And I was like, this is it, you know. And Humvee goes across, and my support by fire does not initiate.
No way.
Yeah, it's actually funny because the guy who was the weasel on that look is stationed here. Super good dude. He felt horrible. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he fell asleep.
You still don't know what happened.
No, dude, I don't know. Like after like they call like they didn't really call index, but they kind of like everyone whatever we're exfilling going back to the patrol base. And you know how like they'll do your look real quick, or like they don't sign your blue card, they don't tell you yes or no.
Little AAR.
But the SI, once you guys SI's got like all of us, like all squad leaders, PL, PSG, and he was like, "What happened?" And I looked at the weasel. Obviously, like I want to be like, "What happened, man?" But I was just like, "What happened?" And he was like, "Dude, I'm so sorry." I was like,
"Yeah." So what she's saying is that the Humvee that they were supposed to ambush. So what they did is they were moving, and then they were told they're doing a hasty ambush, which means an enemy vehicle is coming down the road, which means you're going to set up in a concealed position to then ambush the enemy Humvee, and your weasel, which is your weapons squad leader, your 3rd squad leader, his squad initiates this fire. They have the big guns. Like they conduct the mission. Once they start, then they will shift fire, and then everybody else assaults through the other side, and you've conducted your ambush. It's a very simple. It is Battle Drill 1 Alpha. It is one of the most simple tasks you learn in patrolling.
Out of all out of all the missions, it was like ambush is like easy in my opinion.
But if your weapons squad leader and support by fire never initiates the enemy, then essentially the enemy just drives by and you failed the mission.
And like nothing happened. I remember like literally watching the Humvee go across, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. It was like 3:30 in the morning, and it was still raining. Like I'm telling you, like it was so wet. Like I remember like there was points where I was like, there's no like I'm not changing socks. Like there's no point in changing socks. I'm not changing boots. I think I wore the same uniform for like 6. There's no point. Like we were it rained the whole time. And I remember he felt so bad. And obviously like everyone's frustrated. But like you can't, and like in schools like that, or obviously emotions get heated or whatever, but you can't really, you just gotta like,
it's over.
Yeah, it is what it is. Like you can't. So the SI who, and you probably edit this part out, but Rocky St. V, I think he follows you on Instagram.
Yeah, I know.
He's super cool.
Yeah.
He was my lane walker at the end, but I love him. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
He was my SI on that look, and he was just like, what happened, dude? I was like, I don't know. But anyway, so I was like, that was my second look. It is what it is. So,
so at that point, like, did you think you failed then? Because you've got 2 looks now?
I don't know, because like obviously like you go to schools and people are like, I heard this, I heard this, I heard this. Sometimes they look at the big picture and like, and what people tell you, they're like, you show up patrolling and you already have your tab kind of thing, but it's on you if you keep it throughout those 2 weeks, right? Because like you can.
Gosh, I never thought like that.
I didn't either. But obviously they're looking at the big picture. Like, are you a team player? Like, did you volunteer? Like, are you carrying your weight? Or like how did you perform regardless of the outcome? Like,
see, I feel like they don't look at that at all. Like all they care about is how I do.
Like patrolling's patrolling. They probably don't care if I like carried extra MREs. You know what I mean? Like they don't.
Yeah,
really
like I'm doing it because it helps everybody else out, and I know it looks.
But that's
good.
like to be expected. Yeah. At schools like that, like that's the biggest thing. Like you can be the team player at every look, and you cannot get your go, and that's just the luck of the draw.
And other people can just screw you over, and not like you're saying, not like they're not trying to, like, nobody in your course is trying to not get you your go. Unless they peer you out, but that's a whole different thing. And,
so it was like the last day, the last look, like last day, last mission, last
and
look.
you know too.
And the same SI pulled me over and he was like, how many looks have you had? And I was like, 2. And he was like, this is your 3rd, isn't it? And I was like, yeah. He's like, you know what that means? And I was like, yeah, it means I didn't do well in the first 2. And I think there was only like 4 of us who got, so like we had those recycles. Some people got, like, some of the recycles got 2, some got 1. Some of the people that I was with only got 1.
If you only get 1, you're golden.
Yeah, but like came to find out at the Heartbreak that wasn't necessarily the case. So like some people got like the recycles, not like but anyway, so last I was the weapons squad leader on this one, and I remember like me and one of the guys in the class, super funny, he actually ended up going to CST with me because he was a cadet to a different university. We were like literally talking about where we were going to eat at the PX, like on pass when we got recycled, because I was like, yeah, dude, we're not passing. I was like, I'm going to the PX, I'm going to Charlie's, I'm getting a Philly cheesesteak, and I'm getting a strawberry lemonade, I'm getting a king size Reese's peanut butter. And I was like, it is what it is, dude. I was like, I told myself, one recycle, I'll be good. And the look was like, yeah, I mean, I was the weasel, and the mission ended, and I was
daytime
like,
look, right? Because that's like, because you're literally going to go straight from this look to Heartbreak, right? Or no, so like weapons cleaning and all this stuff. Well, I remember us doing this.
So I think it's a little bit different. That was like the last look, and we had like I want to say like a 4-mile ruck just uphill, and they did a mass cow. Like it was like from this, where it was like from like the AO from this mission, or like the TA that we used, and then they literally mass cow. I mean, it was like an hour, like an hour and a half of just absolute chaos. Like from here, like got hit on the movement, got back to like the fob, like just absolutely chaos, and then they were like, whatever, cleaned weapons that night, stayed the night there, and then they like shuttled us back to like, post or whatever, and then the next day was Heartbreak, and I remember like literally having no idea. I was just like, I have no like.
That day when you're cleaning weapons is so stressful. Like everybody's like talking, and you don't know.
Yeah, you have no idea.
Like, no, you're good, and you're like, dude, I don't feel good.
I don't feel good at all. And then they had to keep pushing Heartbreak back because like they needed like all the SIs there. They needed this army, whatever. First time there, the company commander, whoever it was, like everyone obviously is like being pulled different directions and has like stuff to do. So like not everyone can be there. So they kept pushing it back. I was like, great, can't wait. They're like, yeah, it's gonna be at 09. They're cool. It's gonna be at 11. They're like, yeah, it's gonna be at 1300. Cool. It's gonna be. And we're like, dude, and they're like, it's gonna be tomorrow. So it was supposed to be on a Wednesday because like Thursday's supposed to be graduation rehearsal and like Friday, whatever it is, and like they didn't have like. It was Thursday, and we were like, dude, what is going on?
And usually you have like that half a day to go get like your uniform
like a pass
sewn
or something to go
like
eat.
We usually would go get our uniform stuff sewn on and like
literally happened Thursday at like 1400, and they were like, whatever. Thursday at like 1400, and I remember the first Heartbreak formation they did it in roster number order, and so they were like roster number like so I was expecting that in this one, but they didn't do it. So they're like roster number 53 or something, or roster number 16. So in my brain, I'm like thinking it was still roster number order, and I'm 6. And they already skipped 6, and I was like, oh, yeah, I guess I'm reason.
yeah.
And they call it rush number. I remember like going behind the barracks and like, obviously you don't know if you're the goes or the no goes at that time. But there was like 11 of us standing over there, and like the first sergeant was like, congratulations, like you guys passed. I remember like looking, like just standing right there, and I was like, dude, Savage was over. I was just like, 28 days.
Anticlimactic.
Like, and I was like, what the heck, is this it?
Yeah.
And it was
that formation's so tough, folks. It's where you find out if you passed or not. I guess I'll self-plug here because this is like a story. But like, so they did all that, and then I was last, and then they're like, oh, like we forgot one. They put me in the no-go formation, and then they called me over by name, and then they had me turn around in front, and then they're like, this is your distinguished undergrad. But like, which is like a crazy roller coaster of like, I got no-go'd to now I'm like the top guy. But that's what they like to do there.
Oh yeah,
it's never like good job. Like it has to come with like a little bit of a back.
I think I was like the 8th person they called. I was freaking out. And then like the best dude I ever met, and like his name was Ethan Accord. He's a Fort Drum engineer. Like he was a stud. He did everything. He got his super patrols. Like I to this day will never understand. He recycled. No idea why. And like he was roster number 5, I was roster number 6, and like I remember them calling us. Then like there was like however many dudes left, and they didn't call him. And I just remember being like, no way they're not calling this guy. Because I was like, how the heck did I make it? And this guy didn't. But yeah, I mean, it was. And then I just remember like they had the formation, the SIs like all shook her hand. Obviously, like people are hugging and doing whatever. And I just remember being like, oh, it's over. Yeah. And I was like, cool. Now I have 9 days, and then I got to go to CST. But it was just like, what? Because like all that, like bringing it back to November, like when you make it like the moment's too big or whatever, and then like just doing it, going straight through. Finally, 3 years later, it was like, oh, like it's cyber schools. It is what it's just done. On to the next thing.
Yeah. Do you look? I have conversations with my buddies now, like, and I wish I could go back, like, just for funsies. Do you ever feel like that? Are you there yet?
I'm not
You'll
there.
get
I think like again, not saying cyber, like not comparing the schools, but just like being, going to airsoft school and then being an instructor and like going to basic training, like being a drill sergeant, like like being on one side of it and being on the other, like obviously it changes like your perspective because, obviously airsoft school for my first Army school, so like obviously I think it's the hardest thing in the world. And then like being on the flip side of it, it's like just so funny to like your experiences and just being like, these people who are going through the school are freaking out the whole time. They just want to pass. And then like obviously being a drill sergeant, like everyone hates basic training. They hate drill sergeants. Everyone's in a bad mood. It's terrible. And like being a drill sergeant, like I'm just like a normal person living my life. Like I go home every day, I work out, come back here, and then I just do this. So I'm sure like being on the other side of it would be interesting, just being like, being like an SI or something, but to go through it again, I'm like, no way.
I don't know. Like, for some reason, it intrigues me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, could I do it better? Like, do I still remember enough? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I don't
Like,
either.
getting through it, though, like, I
Yeah.
have no issues with thinking I can do that.
Yeah.
Like, the sleep deprivation, but I don't know. There's something about it that, like, makes me want to go back as a civilian, maybe first time.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you commission aviation, right? So where did that? So you've been in P, right, with
Yeah.
military police, which
Yeah.
another thing, folks, that we probably didn't talk about, and I don't know if you knew this going in, but military police is like the most hated, like MOS in the Army. So you are a police officer pulling over and arresting other people in the Army, and I know I almost went military police. I didn't know it. I thought it was like riot control in other countries or something like that. I didn't know you were just like the person that everybody hates on post.
Yeah. I like think about law enforcement, and I think I would like really enjoy it on the civilian side. I think I'd be good at it, or whatever. I think I would enjoy it. On the military side, it's just like kind of hard because, I just did not enjoy it. I feel like the impact that you're able to have and like, jurisdiction, like a lot of things come down to like commander discretion. It's just like kind of disappointing to like just see how the system works, and like I just did not.
Well, you don't
enjoy
get the respect that like a
No.
regular police officer gets anyways, which now like is pretty bad. but it's still better than MPs in the Army. Like zero respect from other soldiers, zero respect within your department for the most part, and then the outside world doesn't even know what you do.
Yeah.
So it's just tough. I know it's a tough MOS.
Yeah, I think, and then, so I just did not enjoy it, and it's actually funny, like, when I went active duty, I was, like, training for SFAS, and then, like, simultaneously trying to study for the SIFT, which is, like, the flight exam, or whatever, and I just remember being like, okay, well, if I'm trying to study for SFAS, but I'm also trying to study for the SIFT, like, in my brain, I've already failed one, right, so I'm like, I gotta just focus, I gotta put all my eggs in one basket, because I'm already planning for plan B kind of thing, so I was like, either I'm all in on SFAS or I'm all in on flight. So I was like, kind of stopped studying for the SIFT because I was like, my goal is SFAS. Didn't get selected, whatever. And then came back, I was a little E5, and I was like trying to figure out what I want to do. I didn't have enough like NSOERs to like be a drill sergeant. I was like volunteer for a drill, which is like super funny because I'm like, why would anyone volunteer for that? And then still knew I wanted to do like the aviation thing. I just like didn't know how to get there. Still was enlisted. I knew I wanted to eventually commission, but there was like a bunch of like things I wanted to do on the enlisted side that like you don't really get the opportunity to do as an officer, like be an instructor, be a drill sergeant.
Yeah, being a drill sergeant. So you said you didn't have impact as an MP.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you had impact as a drill sergeant?
Yes, and as like an air assault instructor too, just like you learn a lot, like how to teach people or how to like, be in front of large, I mean, the classes are like 200, 300 people, and like you're teaching people from, private all the way up to lieutenant colonels, and just like being a part of the division, and obviously afforded like a bunch of really good opportunities, and just learning, developing as an NCO, like being able to teach and train and also like receive information and like do like just how to like teach things, like instruct. And I'm really glad I did that prior to becoming a drill sergeant. I think if I would have been a drill sergeant prior to being an instructor, like I wouldn't have been a good drill sergeant.
Yeah.
And even like again, air assault's air assault, but like it was cool to like see, I think about my first army, like my air assault was my first Army school, and obviously like as a specialist, like you think it's the coolest thing ever. Like I'm sure like an E7 is like, this is really dumb, I just want to get it over with, but like remembering my time, and like it's a big deal to somebody. So I thought that was cool, like, taking somebody or just like watching someone at like day zero, not know anything, and like watching them graduate, like just like kind of that process, and like also knowing like this person graduated because I taught them something and like they applied the information, like they were successful and they passed.
Yeah,
so,
same with basic training, right? I mean, in basic training, it's almost different because you see like almost a full transformation of mainly children, 18 years old, 19 years old, 20 years old, like turn into something different, you know, in the course of 4 months, right?
Roughly ish. So, then, you know, did the drill sergeant thing, really enjoy it. Like, you know, it's kind of hard to be like, I really enjoyed that because in the moment, I'm sure I was like, this is terrible. But
I know the schedule's tough from everybody I know. Like, just, the schedule's crazy.
It's like you live at work and you sleep at home. But that was a different, you know, like an experience in and of itself. But, so you were lucky to do that because like, that's like everyone remembers basic training. Everybody remembers their battle buddies. Everyone remembers their drill sergeants. Everyone remembers everything. Like I literally I went to basic training 9 years ago and I could tell you all my drill sergeants' names. Like I could tell you like everything that happened. I remember everything. It's like your first introduction to the Army, so it's very impactful and like just being a part of that. Or also just
it's shocking. Like it's a culture shock. 100%. You've never experienced anything like it.
Yeah, and you know, just because. You know, there's probably like a bunch of like you were the first person these people meet in the Army, and you can really change the trajectory of their career.
If you had advice for people wanting to join the Army, like what are your basic training tips as a drill sergeant? Like what would you tell somebody? Like
I would just say like have thick skin and like know it's gonna suck, but like that's what you signed up for. You know, like not like but that I mean that is true. Like you join the United States Army, like it's not supposed to. People join for all different reasons, but at the end of the day, like you join the Army, like that is something to be proud of, and like it's not gonna be easy. I think that's something that people need. I think like doing hard things, for your whole life is like really like what makes you successful. If there's anything, one of the best things one of the SIs told me when we graduated, when we got that heartbreak promotion, we found out we passed. One of the SIs was like, "Don't stop doing hard things."
Yeah, and
I feel like that's something. Obviously like that happened well after becoming a drill sergeant, but that's something that I've like really thought about I think about it often. Like you get these schools, you get these times, you get these but like what's next? Like you don't want to stop, or like, and people look at you differently at some point. Like, and again, not to like be like I'm better than everybody, but like people when you have attained certain things or whatever, people there is a standard to uphold, and that's not because you're like, but that's like people want to you represent more than just
your name or whatever. No, I agree, and I get that a lot, and I think that, and then people start reaching out at some point, right? And they like tell you that you inspire them, and and I think what a lot of people who message you or me or anybody that's influential in any way and say that is like when you send those messages to people, at least myself, I feel inspiration from you. Like you sending me that message holds me accountable to work hard the next day because like I'm not showing up just for me. Like I'm also showing up for you now. Yeah. Every single person I feel like messages me that tells me like what you did inspired me, makes me want to do more every single time. Like I feel like I carry those people like with me in the next thing I'm doing.
Yeah, I feel like you also like at some point like you feel like some responsibility because I didn't even like not again like I don't even know how that sounds like arrogant, but yeah, people will like reach out or ask questions, and I'm like, in my brain, I'm like, I'm just Jess. Like I don't like really know what I'm doing. But then I'm like, oh, these people think of me enough to reach out and ask for advice. Like I feel like I owe it to them to put my best foot forward every single time. But yeah, so did the green to gold thing, and then long story short with like the branching, pretty much you get to rank all your branches 1 through 15 or 14, or whatever it is, and then based off of like your OML order of merit list or whatever. Through like all your performances, like CST, GPA, extracurriculars, ACFT, like your class ranking at your university, and how how you performed at CST. Like you get a national OML number ranking against all the other cadets in the country, and then you get like an active duty OML. So out of I think it was like 500, or sorry, out of I think it was like I want to say it was like. I can't remember. I know on the national OML, I was 417. I want to say it was out of like 4,500.
Yeah.
And then on the active duty, I was like 312 out of
top 10%.
I was like top 5, I think.
Yeah.
So I knew I had a pretty good chance at getting my number one. My top 3 branches were aviation, EOD, and engineer. And then we had branch day in December. it was like kind of cool. They did it like draft, like NFL draft style.
Okay,
So like you
yeah.
just like get on stage. They showed it on the back, so like the crowd gets to see what you branched or
You're like
whatever.
all three? Oh, the crowd sees before you do.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it comes up on a projector. They have like your name on there. Like you're standing in front of the class. They like as soon as it shows, like everyone obviously is like cheering or whatever. You turn around, you see like cool like Cadet LaHost got aviation, and yeah. So I actually PCS on Monday.
Right.
And start flight school. I reported June 30th, and like we in process for a little bit, and then I'll start flight school July 15th.
So what intrigues you? Because so everything you've done up to this point in the Army is all like ground troop stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
everything from drill to sapper leader course, air assault. I mean, it's still ground troop stuff.
Yeah.
Why aviation?
I don't know, like in my brain, like not that I think like, yeah, I'm just like, if I'm gonna do 20 year, and this is again not knocking anybody, like I know everyone's like aspirations and goals or whatever are different, and I'm not saying like mine are harder or better, but like for me, I'm like if I'm gonna do 20 years in the Army, like to me the only thing that's really worth it is if I'm gonna go SF or if I'm gonna be a pilot. So
and you don't want to just be a pilot, like we talked about on that run. Like you're trying to be a special operations pilot. Like that's the ultimate goal. No.
Yeah. So as soon as I'm like eligible to assess for 160th, I'd like to, and obviously that's like way down the road, but like that would be then goals like to go to 160th and try and fly little birds. But I just think it's like the coolest job you could possibly have in the Army.
Pretty sick.
So I'm pretty excited. Like I've never felt like I'm like going into anything more blind than I am. Like I have several friends who are pilots. Yeah, whatever, and like I've done like the flight simulator before, and before I'll like I've done the flight simulator like 3 times maybe, and I'm always like, sorry if I suck. They're like, sorry if you suck at flying a helicopter. Like obviously you have no idea how to fly a helicopter. I'm like, yeah, I don't absolutely nothing about flying a helicopter, and I've talked to several people. I'm like, is it normal to like, go to flight school and have absolutely no idea what you're doing? And they're like, everyone who shows up to flight school has no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, I was
like,
gonna
I'm
say,
like, I couldn't even tell you how to turn this thing on. Like, I'm like. But I'm excited, and it's like a real big like full circle moment kind of thing for me. So, yeah, pretty excited.
So the next course you go to, what is it, Rucker?
Yeah, so everything's at Fort Rucker, PCS to Fort Rucker. I go to like the pipeline's kind of the same for like warrants and then like officers, like commission officers. So like we go to Bullock, they go to Walks, we meet at SEER School, and then we go to like IERW, which is like initial entry rotary wing or ComCorps, and then that's I think like 6 to 7 months, and then after that, you can you go to advanced airframe, which is where you figure out like the actual specific airframe that you're gonna fly, whether it's like fixed wing or like Chinook, Apache, or UH-60, and then you do that, and then you graduate. So roughly anywhere from like 18 months to 2 years.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. Do you feel like respected in every space you step in now? Like, or do you still like feel like an imposter?
I feel like you definitely have to like.
Because I wouldn't say you're known, but I think that like. If somebody was to look at your ERB or SRB, whatever it's called now ORB, right?
Yeah.
Like, they know you've done stuff. You know, like, does that, like, hold any weight with you? Like, do you feel that at all? Do you carry any of that?
Yeah, I feel like there's an assumption about people like that because, like, tabs and badges don't make you what, like, people are like, oh, this person has this tab or this badge. Like, they have to be, that's, like, oftentimes not the case, which is, like, why I think the SI was like, don't stop doing hard things because at the end of the day, like regardless of what I call, like people look at you differently, and like you have there's an expectation of you regardless if you want to like say it or not. And again, I don't think tabs and badges are everything. I've met several people who have both, and like they're not the greatest people, they're not the greatest soldiers. And again, it's not like I have done these things because like I'm the best. Like I've just had really good leadership. I've been really lucky. I've been afforded really good opportunities. And again, like it's all time and place. And when the Army told me like we can send you, like I said yes. Like it wasn't like I had these things because I'm better than anybody. Like I had good leadership, and I was just afforded opportunities that several people weren't or haven't been yet. So I think like there's an assumption of people like that, and like yeah, I think there's just you have like a responsibility, and like you owe it to like you're representing certain things, and like I feel like you just have to. The standard is like you have to. There's that standard for you to like uphold, and I think like. I don't necessarily like say like if I walk into a room like I assume people respect me. I think I walk into a room and there's an expectation probably of me.
Of you.
Yeah.
But put on yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like you expect yourself to act a certain way because of like what you've done. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you said like you just say yes, my buddy Eric, he's a great ultra runner, and he like one of his phrases is keep saying yes. And like it's to like go to the next aid station, right? But it applies to exactly what you're saying, or what your SI said is like do the hard things. Like keep saying yes.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what keeps you like steady, because we see so many people that obtain the same things we've done or more, and then they just retract. and they don't do anything else,
Yeah.
that thing becomes their identity.
Yeah.
And then they turn into like something awful,
Yeah.
you know? And like, what do you think like keeps you saying yes? Like, how do you keep the wheels turning? Because life isn't easy, right? I mean, life is never easy.
Yeah, I think like for me, I don't know what it is, but it's like I said at the very beginning, like you get this badge, you feel no different. You get this one, you feel no different. And it's like I got my cyber tab, and I was like, I don't feel any different. And then like I got aviation, I was really excited about it for like 7 minutes, and then I was like, what if I fail flight school? And I don't know, I just feel like it's like a blessing and a curse kind of thing like that, because I think a lot of times people look at people like us or you or me or whoever, and they think that maybe we're like, I think I'm better than somebody, but like truthfully, I'm like it's never enough.
Or we think like they think we wake up every day just like motivated to just hammer down, and it's like every workout is like me negotiating with myself if I can get out of it, and then I never am able to. Like the workout always wins, the run always wins, you know, and I always go do it anyways.
I think I just want to do like as much as I can while I'm like do as much as I can, like have absolutely no regrets, like do everything that I possibly can, so that like when it's all said and done, I can be like, I literally did everything I could possibly do.
And for me, like I'm so faith-based that like that's my way of giving back to God, right? Like he gave me, when you say like I was given these opportunities, right? Like to me that's always like the Holy Spirit gave it to me, right? Like God presented me with this opportunity, and the route wasn't A to B, right? Like yours, it was a windy road, and there were some stumbles along the way, and there were some trees I had to hop over. But eventually, when the time was right, he gave me the opportunity, and like, how can I pay that forward? And I just remember like everything that I do now is like, I'm only doing this like because you gave it to me, God, and like I owe it to you to try my best. And even if that means failure, right? Like trying my best is all you ask. You know, and that's how I've like reframed like, how do you stay motivated? It's like, well, what if I lost my legs tomorrow and I decided not to run for a year because I just got lazy? Like I would feel like an idiot, you know?
I think like the other thing that's cool is like my company commander when I was at TSAS, her name was Lindy Barrett. She was like the 4th or 5th double tab female in the Army, like total stud. And like I was like, I want to be here. She's so cool. And it's like, like again, I like those are just things that I wanted for myself. Like these are just like things I'm like, oh, this is a really hard thing. Like I want to do it. Like I want to know that I can do it. And like not that I'm Lindy Barrett by any means, because I'm definitely not, but like you see people who like accomplish things or whatever, and it's like, wow, like I want to do that hard thing too. And then like you do that hard thing you thought you couldn't do, and then like somebody else becomes that version of you that was like, oh, this person did it, I want to do it. I think that's kind of cool, because again, like not that I like think I'm like some whatever, but like people have reached out and they're like, you inspire me, or like you motivate, like you're the reason I went. Like in my head again, I'm like, that's so wild, because like I don't think about that at all. But I think
I don't
that's
get
like
it either.
The most important part is like doing things so that other people like know that they can do it too.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah,
no, definitely. And like especially we all come from different backgrounds and have different stories, and like I think that we are all so bad at believing in ourselves. Like we suck at it. Like every school I went to, I thought I was gonna fail, and you've said the same thing the whole time. It's like, and I just wonder like if everybody thinks that, or if it's just us or what.
Funny that you say that, because I remember we were doing some sort of patrolling, or like we had like FTX for Granny Gold, and one of the people in my class was like, "How do you have so much confidence?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "They're like, you just like you're so like assertive and like." You just have so much confidence. I'm like, I promise you, like if it comes off that way internally, I don't feel that way. I'm like, they're like, are you serious? I'm like, I have like absolutely not. Like I'm like, not like shooting from the hip, but I'm like, I don't know everything. Like I just show up and I just figure it out, I guess. But I'm like, in my brain, like obviously, like I think people might look at me and think I'm a competent person, but like I think, I feel like there's so many things that I'm like, people think of me or look at me one way, and I'm like, internally, that's not how I function, Well,
and I think that's what it is, though, right? I think that people that do hard things are the biggest critics of themselves. And so the outside world, it doesn't seem easy, But like I never seem to encounter people that say something worse to me than I've said in my own head.
Oh yeah.
You know, like
for whatever whatever you tell, whatever you think, you cannot hurt your feelings more than I already have hurt my feelings myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've said that to so many people.
Yeah.
Like when I made transitions in life, like people try to drag me back into like my bad spaces or bring up my past. It's like, you don't think I haven't relived this thing 100x times in the worst fashion possible? Like,
trust me, I'm meaner to myself than probably anybody is.
And I think that's something like, and I don't want people to be mean to themselves.
Yeah.
But be your own biggest critic. Like be honest with yourself is what it is. Like don't be self-deprecating so much in the fashion that like you become like completely depressed and like hermit. But if we look at anybody, you know, like Andy Stumpf, the Navy SEAL, talks about it a lot. Like he's completely self-deprecating. Like will never take credit for anything he's done. And like it just seems to be the more successful people, like they just are like that. You know? And just if I was to tell people, like, just be your own critic. You know what I mean? Like, that's where you get confidence from, because nobody else could, like, you're not afraid of the big thing externally, because inside you are terrified of it.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's, was literally talking to somebody last night. It was funny because he was my air assault student and is now a first sergeant down at Fort Hood. And yeah, I think people expect certain people to not be the ones to struggle the most or like be hard on themselves, and like I think people would be shocked at who those people are. Like,
because my brain's always running with negative thoughts of myself and like when I'm gonna fail next. And I don't know if everybody thinks like that, but I know that I do.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm like, it sounds insane, but sometimes I'm like, I've literally done nothing with my life, and people are like, you just graduated with your master's, you want to go to flying school. I'm like, yeah. Sometimes it's just like,
you told me that when I invited you on the podcast, so then I just like had the list for you and I was like, here's proof, you know. But still, like you're saying, like you can look at the list 100 times and it's still like, what's next? You know. And now you have aviation, and then like you're trying to get into the ultra space. Like where did that ambition come from?
I think it's gonna have a bunch of friends who work there, and then like obviously like when I was at TSAS, we had like, you know, a bunch of pilots that we worked with, whether it was like doing like whatever sending air assault students out the bird, or like fries and spies, rappel master, or like, you know, sometimes we had students that were like little bird pilots. And like the first time I ever rode on a little bird was one of the air assault students. He was a major, he was a little bird pilot at 160th, and after he graduated, he was like, yeah, I'm a little bird pilot out at 160th. Like, if you guys ever want to fly, like, I'll come fly out here, land on the PC if you guys want to, like, hop on. And we were like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, dude, this is sick. I got to do this. I don't know. I just think it's, like, again, like, from, like, the top. Like,
it's cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
It doesn't really get much cooler than that.
Yeah, and those guys, like, guys and gals, like, the aviation people seem to, like, do what they want to. I don't know if that's true. It's probably not true, right? Because it's still the Army.
No, I'm sure
but it seems like they just, like, show up, like, and fly and then go home.
Yeah.
It's just, like, the coolest job ever.
That's the lie.
Yeah, until you're, like, in, you know, Syria for, like, 6 months, and it probably gets a little hairy. But that's the goal, too, right? Like, do you feel any sort... I know I always have felt, like, some sort of guilt that I didn't see real combat or like fight for my country, and I know it's a blessing that I didn't, right? Because like could end up not being here, could have lost really close friends and those types of things, but I always have felt some sort of guilt that like I'm not a war fighter. I wasn't in a huge combat situation.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about that a lot too. Obviously, everyone's like, I want to join the Army and fight for my country. I remember being at CST, and this kid who is like a traditional, so he was like a direct commission, like just at ROTC, wasn't prior service. He was like, I want to go to war. And I'm like, do you even know what you're asking for? Like, I don't even know what that's asking for. And I know that I don't want it. So it's hard to be like, you know, do I feel bad about it? Yes. Cause like I said, like, I'm like, I haven't really done anything. Like I've been, you know, in other ways I've done lots of things, but in like, you know, in so many other ways, I'm like, I don't feel like I've done anything. And that's like a hard feeling to live with, because, you know, I'm coming up on like 8-9 years, and I'm like, yeah, like when's my time coming? But on the flip side of that, it's like, and again, deployments are really all time in place too. Like it's not like I dodged them. Like my unit didn't deploy.
Yeah, and I went to Iraq and we didn't see anything.
Yeah, and I just think it's an insane thing for people to be like, I want to ask for war, like is insane.
Yeah, in my age now, I don't want it, but I know when I was in my 20s, like it's all I thought about was like that's what I want to do. You know.
You know, obviously I have 12 years left, 10 to 12 years left. So I'm like, you know, I'm sure like I'll be afforded the opportunity, but like war is a terrible thing, and like I don't wish it upon anyone, either side, you know. So it's like it's hard for me. It's like a double-edged sword. 'Cause it's like, yes, I want to be a part of something bigger than myself, or like, you know, do that for my country, but on the same time, it's like what an insane, like what a terrible thing to wish for.
Yeah, and now you battle the politics of it
Yeah.
and like what we know and don't
Yeah.
know, which makes it even tougher. I know, like
Yeah.
like 10 years ago, you don't even think about that stuff.
No.
You're just like, oh, they're sending me, I go.
Yeah.
Now you're like, you have so much more
Yeah.
thought about it. Yeah, and then you're trying to do ultra marathons.
Yeah, so had some life things come up.
Yeah,
And,
you're supposed to run Strolling Gym.
Yeah, so I do the 40 miler, and I think I'm like kind of like the type of person where I've always been like, you know, obviously it took me 3 years to get to SAP school. It's not gonna take me 3 years to do an ultra marathon, but yeah, life happens, and like, you know, I think being someone that I've always been, I'm like, I have to do it, and like sometimes, like, you know, like it's okay to say no. Like I just like was not a place that I could like, you know, could do it, and I was just like, you know, the only person that this is gonna affect at the end of the day, the only person who's gonna like lose sleep over this if I don't do it, like, is myself. Like I was like, are people gonna think I'm like, you know, skipping out on something hard, or if I'm like all bark no bite, or people, whatever the case may be, I'm like, is everyone gonna judge me? And like that became more. I was more concerned about that than like what I really needed at the time. And I was like, yeah, dude, like I don't really care if people think about me. Like if I can't do it, it is what it is. Like,
I love that. Doesn't that like it almost drives you away from it now? And
yeah,
it's like,
I'm just like, this is
bring the haters.
Yeah, I'm like, I literally like don't care. Like I know, I'm like, I'm gonna do it. Like whenever I'm like, if I say I'm gonna do something, like I'm gonna do it. It's like it's gonna happen one way or another. Like at the time, like it just didn't work out, and like I'm like I know that when like I'm afforded the next chance, or like I'll have not that I have plenty of time, but like yeah, like I'll have downtime during flight school, and like I definitely plan on doing that.
It's just a crazy transition though.
Yeah.
Like you have been, I don't know if you've been a successful CrossFit athlete, but you're pretty dang good at that. But that's like short spurt, short distance, like short events. So the crossover to something that's the exact opposite, like one thing, very boring for a very long time.
Yeah.
Like where does
it's definitely
where's the intrigue?
I don't know. I think I started running it. Like I've always been like a runner-ish. Like I played college soccer, always ran. Obviously the Army, like I have to run. And then I like over Christmas break, I just started like really getting into running, and then I just kept running further. And I was like, I could just like I've already done 2 marathons, I've done 2 halves, I've done a sprint triathlon. So I was like, yeah, like what's again, like what, like I always say, I'm like, what's the next thing? So that's kind of like where I came from.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Are you still competing in CrossFit like at all?
I like dabble here and there. Like I don't really think CrossFit's like my identity. I think I just enjoy it because like I enjoy feeling strong, and I just like the workouts, and yeah, I just feel like my fittest when I feel like my best when I'm strong. So that's why like I kind of always enjoyed it. There is a competition like that's down in Florida that'll be close to Fort Rucker. It's like called the Beach Brawl. So I'll probably try and do that one. I have a few friends. That's like a partner or like a team comp. So I'll probably try and do that one.
High Rocks Nashville, you're gonna miss it.
Yeah, well, I could do that one too. I have a few friends that are trying to do that one too.
Yeah, I was in one and then I backed out. I kind of pulled a Strolling Gym like you, but like
happens.
I just looked at it like it just didn't make sense for me. Like I was already traveling so much and I had so much going on, and then like the price of the tickets for that stuff is
it's like $260.
Yeah, I was like 400 deep for like singles and doubles. I got rid of them all at price too, and I could have scalped people, but I was like, dude, I don't feel right about that. But I'll probably do a High Rock someday too. It's just it's a hot thing, but it's a little expensive right now. I feel like.
Yeah, I probably had like
it's just trendy.
5-10 minutes left. That's okay.
Okay.
Is that cool? Yeah, I don't want to. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. Yeah, I just wanted to just know why you want to run ultra marathons, but I think it's just like you're saying, you're just chasing the next thing.
Yeah, and I think it's like very much like obviously you're elite when it comes to that stuff. I think it's very much mental. I mean, like most things are.
Mostly
so I'm
mental.
like, yeah, it's like all mental, and I feel like, at this time in my life, like I almost like I think I really need it.
Yeah. Well, it's different in the way that you get to think a lot.
Yeah.
You know, because there's not a new task.
No.
You know, it's just run.
Yeah.
And move and hike and like. So you do spend a lot of time in your own head, whether that's good or bad. And when I first started running, it was a lot of bad, and now it's a lot of good. You know, a lot of grace, a lot of gratitude, and stuff like that. But at first it was like punishment running for a little while.
I think that's like the biggest thing is like I've always said, like you can see when people have something in their brain, like my ankle hurts or whatever, and then like they latch onto that, and then it becomes like all they can think about. I think that's like a big thing with running is like at whatever mile at some point, like something's gonna take over, and it's like, okay, you're gonna let it win, or are you just gonna keep running?
Yeah, that's ultra.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah. And I wouldn't say most people stop, but you know, like Cocodona, like only 64% of people finished, you know, and
I believe it.
But you have so much time, you know, you could literally, the cutoff is 2 miles an hour.
Yeah.
2 miles an hour. Like
Yeah.
30-minute miles, very attainable.
Yeah.
You know, even regardless of the distance, it's very attainable.
Yeah.
But it just seems too big sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Or the issue seems
Bigger than
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All you have to do is move forward. And like that's why I like Ultra, because it's like synonymous with life. Like all you have to do is move forward. Like we all know what the next step looks like. Like it gets harder to take the next step, just like the farther you get into a race, but you can do it. Like it's just about doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on, Jess. That was fun. It was a good conversation. Hopefully somebody gets something out of it.
Yeah, hopefully I talk slow enough, probably. I think you're going to realize I talk pretty fast.
That's okay. Yeah, it's just natural.
Yeah.
You know, I talk kind of fast too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to slow it down a little bit. But yeah, I guess if I had one more question, like we're on the Made New project, do you think you have a moment where like you felt made new?
Dang, that's hard.
And I think there's a lot of them. So like,
Yeah.
I think that we are continuously changing. So, you know, I have some moments that I believe I was made new. It's hard to point to just one, but if you could think of one, or if you have one that was impactful.
I don't know if I can like put something that's like so specific. I would just say like at this time in my life, like I saw like some video that came up on my feed, and it was just like every time something like along the lines of like every time you get hurt or like whatever, like it just pushes you like closer to God. And I feel like if there's anything I've learned last like month or whatever few weeks, it's like like I just feel like I'm like more aware of like what I can like handle as a human being, and like what I can get through, and like it can be really dark and like really hard at times, and then like just knowing that like this, not to be like cliche, but like this too like will pass or whatever, and like, you know, just knowing that like you've got like I've gone through hard things and I moved on, got through hard things, I moved on, like chipped away, and I'm like, this is just like another thing that you just have to move past. And I think like once you realize like how much you've been through and how much you're gonna keep going through, and like that you're gonna be okay at the end of it, like you kind of become, and like when you do it alone, like you become like unstoppable.
Yeah, you're made new. Yeah. And like it's a made new project, because like I think it's a project to become made new. Like it's everlasting. Like it's always. But you nailed it. Yeah. Just when you know that like once you realize it's not going to get any easier. It gets easier. Like you're like, oh, like this is just going to be hard forever. And then like when the easy days come, you're like, this is pretty neat.
It's never going to be easy. You're just going to get better at handling it.
Yes.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yep.
Folks, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you. We'll be back with another episode next week. So just keep working on yourself. Become made new.
Crushed it.